Hello, everybody. This is Jeremiah and Michaela Harrison with Liturgy of the Home, coming to you today on the 31st of August. This is the day before the 10th Sunday after Pentecost. So we're about to open up the 10th week after Pentecost. And we have news. We have things to share. We're going to go through the gospel and the saints for this week. But we also have some news. I guess some bad news, some good news. Good news for us, right?
Well, still sad for me too.
Right. Well, so I guess we'll just jump right. I don't want to spend too much time because many of you families are probably tuning in to go through the week of the saints. But there's some more changes happening. So I'm going to jump into at least the pictures so you can talk about first an update with your dad, right?
Yes.
Because that really has a big impact on this whole project and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show you. This is a picture of her and her dad.
As many of you know, I was asking for prayers earlier because my dad's been in the hospital now for about 2 weeks. He has pancreatic cancer, and he had some complications, was having internal bleeding and needed blood transfusions, and his bile was blocked. This is a picture of him before they were able to clear the blockage. That's why he's so yellow. So I went to visit him. We could have very easily lost him. Thankfully, he's made it through what I think's the worst of it. He just yesterday had a surgery called a Whipple surgery. So as of right now, he is most likely cancer-free, but it's a pretty serious procedure, and he's going to be in the hospital for another week to recover. So it's really been a big deal for my family, for my siblings. It's been a lot. And so in addition to now I'm 17 weeks
along
pregnant.
And then actually that's what I mentioned kind of with the good news is he came through the surgery. He came through well. The doctor
He came
happy,
through.
So,
we still have him with us. So
every day is a gift.
We're very grateful for that.
But so many things have come together. You know, what's been happening with her father-in-law.
Your father-in-law.
Yeah, your father-in-law. My father-in-law.
That's what I'm saying.
My father-in-law, that's right. And also the fact that in the art, we've fallen behind a little bit on our timeline. So the big bad news is this is going to be our last video for a while. And we're making the decision. We thought about it. We didn't want to do it, but we're going to put the membership on pause. So for all of you guys who are members, we're not going to be able to make any more coloring pages or any more of the monthly dedications or the stories until Advent. We're going to turn everything on back at Advent. We've got to pour all of our energy, and we've got to play some catch up, and we've really got to get all of the calendars illustrated for Sophia on time to get out. That's our really a primary thing. So for those of you who've been with us for a while, this has been a journey. I mean, we really started this project just doing a little bit at a time and putting it out as we go. And I know that's not an orthodox that's not a conventional way of doing things. Usually you'll get it all put together and then it'll be, released and published all in one. We've been dripping this out a little bit at a time. And one of the big reasons why is because with our current living situation, we had to be able to bring in income right away to carve out time to continue developing this project. And so many of you guys have been gracious enough and have jumped aboard and have been supporting us on a monthly basis as we've been building this content library. So we need to shift gears. We've got to focus. We've had before us, Sophia's going to publish the calendars, and we have, I really believe, God willing, a bright future with the calendars. And then also there's going to be we're going to be able to build out the membership really well. But we've really got to take the next few months to focus on having everything ready to go Advent. That's the big thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put anybody who is a member now, all of your billing will go on pause until Advent.
You won't have to do anything. It'll automatically happen.
It'll start back up for that at that time. I'll send out an email beforehand. If you guys want to cancel, you're welcome to do that. And also we could use help in this interim time, but we wanted to pause the membership. We really want to have the membership be linked to value that we're producing for you. And since we can't really produce any value for you guys right now, we think it'd be best to pause the membership. But if you guys really want to continue giving anyway, please just send me an email. And also we'll have a little donate button on our website, on our main website. And you could donate just whatever you like to help us. We trust that the Lord's going to give us what we need to get through. So, and really, once these are printed and once these are on store shelves, that's really going to be our income is the growth of this, the growth of the sales of the calendars, members. You know, we're working with somebody now trying to maybe put together some music, right? So, I mean, Advent, there's a lot of Advent hymns out there. You know, we all know Christmas songs, but how many of us know old hymns from Advent? And we want to put together something where we can have songs as a part of the membership for all the different seasons of the liturgical year. So we're working with some friends who might be able to help do that part. We've got the illustration part, but
we have to get a head start, and because we're already behind, we just can't lose this opportunity to get these documents to Sophia. And so we just want to safeguard that without me running too hard with the pregnancy. It's like we're in this for the long haul, and we just realized we were getting ourselves up against a bit of a wall.
Well, a lot has been happening. I mean, with your dad going to the hospital, I mean, we could have made it, but we've been thin margins, and now they're gone.
God has a plan for us, but I am sad because we had some really big feast days coming up.
Yeah.
The Assumptions in August, Lady of Sorrows, and the Holy Cross in September, and then All Saints and All Souls
that was
for
going to
November.
be a really neat one. Well, next year we're going to have something incredible for All Saints and All Souls.
Yes.
So
anyway, I am so sorry, especially for all you that have been following us so faithfully. It'll be a bit of a void.
Right.
For the
so there's that.
Future.
So but we do have the monthly dedication for August that will come out. That's ready to go. So that'll come out for August. We're going to be releasing it today or tomorrow. The audio files won't come for another week and a half.
No, it'll just be in a few days, like sometime midweek.
Her brother
the
was
audio
delayed.
Files.
He's been at Tulsa in the hospital with his dad a lot. So that was a big part that delayed him. So did we hit everything?
I think.
Oh, and if folks, I noticed we got a lot of views on these on Instagram. I don't really know how many of you who watch are actually members or how many are on our email list. Because we're not doing any more of these videos. This is the last one. And because we're putting the membership on pause. If you want updates, because I do plan on still putting out some periodic email updates showing progress on the calendars and how we're doing. If you're not on our email list, just go to our website and jump on our email list. I'm going to start. I've been emailing just our members for a little while, but I'm going to start just sending out general emails of our progress to the whole email list, probably starting.
And we'll also have Instagram. I'm sure we'll try
we'll still post
pictures there. So
right.
Both should get you some.
God willing, really, you'll hear a lot more from us really as we get very close to Advent, as the calendars get ready to be printed. So.
Oh, can we jump to the picture of the wall behind us? We've been asked what is this board on the wall behind us, and we call it our Scrum board. This is how we track the work that we're doing.
There's a lot of moving pieces. You see, all the blue stickies are me. That's me. All my tasks.
Yes.
And then what are you?
I'm pink.
Well, okay. At this point, it was taken. There wasn't a lot for her, but usually there's like 5 times more pink tabs. And we've got, is this Kateri or Rose?
That's Rose.
That's Rose. She does like all the painting. All these stickers represent different parts of the calendar that she's having to paint, this day, this week, this. And then Kateri is our digital. So she's doing all the digital stitching. So there's a lot of moving parts, to produce this. And this is the timeline.
If you zoom in. So this is where we've been tracking our progress. And this is basically our timeline to deliver the file to Sophia by September 10th.
See, we're at the end of this week right now.
We're getting ready to start.
So I mean, like 7. Our timeline, we should be okay. This is the Advent of design, the Christmas design. This is supposed to be the Epiphany design, but little Elizabeth got to it.
Our 2-year-old came in and erased.
We're supposed to be done with a big part of Epiphany now, and basically, Michaela's like this way through Christmas.
At the end of next week, I am supposed to be finished with Epiphany 1 and 2, and I am still on Christmas. So that's part of why we've had to make this jump.
And we have this, this as you kind of see here, we had this flex time for August, but we're going to end up using nearly all of that for all the catch up we need to do, and that's why we had to put the membership on hold. So this is actually this board, this whole method. Her dad runs engineering projects and lots of moving parts. He kind of helped us put all this together. So really, we owe him a debt. He's helped us realize and get a lot more efficient and all the little pieces, all the moving pieces that come to put this project together. So,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, and you may wonder, these are the different products that we have at that time. That's what these are. Just little we put up there because we have the calendar, the coloring pages. What was this? Oh, the full color images.
It fell off.
The black and white. Yeah, the black and white calendar, the monthly dedications, and the companion booklet.
Yes.
So, but we were hoping to add to that as time goes on. So.
We cover it all.
I think so.
Sorry, I know that was long, but we had a lot to.
Now we're ready to get it. We're like,
everyone.
here we are. Wow, we're already 10 minutes in. Okay, we're ready. You know what? I'm going to have a table of contents on here. So if you want to skip all this stuff and go right to the, you can.
Yeah.
So let us begin. All right, I'm going to do a reading from the Gospel.
For the 10th Sunday.
For the 10th Sunday of Pentecost.
Yeah.
This is, and we'll go through the pictures too. Okay. Very good. It's a continuation of the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. At that time, Jesus spoke this parable to some who trusted in themselves as just and despised others. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee, standing, prayed thus with himself, O God, I give thee thanks that I am not as the rest of men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, as also is this publican. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not so much as lift his eyes towards heaven, but struck his breast, saying, O God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I say to you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other, because every one that exalteth himself shall be humbled, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And St. Augustine comments, I, said the Pharisee, am just, and all other men are sinners. Proud man, comments St. Augustine. Here in the proximity of a publican is an opportunity to vaunt yourself still more. This man, says the Pharisee, in effect, is like all the rest. I differ from him by my just works, and thanks to these works I am not a sinner. Look in these words for something asked of Almighty God, and you will find nothing. Having gone up to the temple to pray, he wishes to ask nothing of God but only to praise himself. Not only does he offer no prayer to God, but he heaps praises upon himself, and much more than this, he goes so far as to insult the one who does pray. On the other hand, the publican stands afar off, yet he was so near to God. The knowledge of his own heart keeps him at a distance, but a sentiment of faith draws him near. To draw upon him the attention of Almighty God, he does not lift his eyes to him. His conscience overwhelms him, but hope raises him up. He struck his breast, saying, O God, be merciful to me, a sinner. Here is a man who prays. You know, one thing struck me is even in the ancient world, they had virtue signaling. Boy. But to walk through some of these images, Cajetan found some really beautiful images.
The James Tissot image. He's really beautiful work.
Boy, oh boy.
This is an image of Christ, and you see the people listening, sitting down, and the Pharisees there.
I almost wonder.
Woe to you, Pharisees.
Brood of vipers.
Yes. It's also Tissot as well.
Right. Tissot is good.
He's very good.
These are just beautiful. And this, is this a...
It's a door.
This is a door, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Now is this...
You see Christ. Yeah, it's the Pharisee and the publican, but you see Christ there in the background kind of presenting.
Speaking. Oh, yes.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah. Yeah. Telling that story. Telling that parable. And here...
Look how the posturing, he's so puffed up. Look at that. It's very colorful for the children, too. It illustrates the point. Which one are we supposed to be like when we come before God? The one on the right or the one on the left? Hopefully the children will say we should be like the one on the left.
Well, if we want to get to heaven, we must be, right?
Hopefully we do. There we go.
And this is the last one you have in the series.
Yeah, whenever I'm looking for art, I try to look up a variety of styles so the children can see this is all the same content, but there's a lot of different ways of showing
way presenting it. Each different unique instance of presenting it.
And the different styles, I just think it's really fascinating.
Well, we will move on now to our first saint of this week,
Monday.
Saint Alphonsus Liguori.
Yes. I have some really neat
And
pictures
she's got
of
some
him.
notes.
He was an artist, which I thought was really interesting. So I actually have some pictures of him. Oh shoot, did I lose my notes? Hopefully I can find my notes.
You'll find
There,
your notes.
there.
Take
There,
a
there.
moment.
Sorry about
There we
that.
go.
Oh wait, no, that was my notes? No.
No, wait.
There.
There.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. Oh, this is him as a little boy being surprised. At least it's labeled as being surprised in prayer. But he had bad eyesight. So even though he was born into a wealthy family, he did fencing, he did horseback riding, and he couldn't see very well. And so instead of going to the military, they tried to have him be a lawyer. But he eventually, that didn't really work out, and he left that profession. Oh, he had chronic asthma as well.
Oh,
So for all you children,
Wow.
if any of you children out there deal with asthma,
I have asthma.
you can.
And they didn't have Ventolin inhalers back then.
He was a bishop. Oh wait,
We'll go back?
oh no, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so this image was fascinating, and I looked everywhere to try to figure out what was going on with this picture and could not figure it out. So if any of you viewers know the story behind this picture, I'm pretty sure that the baby is St. Alphonsus Liguori because you see the angels up there holding the mitre and the crozier, but I can't figure out who the other saint is with him. So anyway, This is a mystery picture, but I know Alphonsus Liguori came from a fairly wealthy family from this time period, so anyway. I decided to put that in there. Okay. All right, so zoom in. It's the low quality picture. So he was an artist, and this is one of the pictures that he painted of Christ. You just see the depth of his meditation on Christ. And
there were three. Can you talk about the three pictures? Did you?
There was another one of Our Lady with the 12 stars. There's a really beautiful Madonna. I don't have that one saved, and I don't remember what the third one was, but anyway.
Christ is with his love in the Eucharist.
Okay.
It is said that these three pictures meant a great deal to him.
Yes. All right, and then here is an image from his death. I really love this picture. It's just so well composed, and it's so peaceful. That's, I think, how all of us would love to go, being right surrounded by people who love us and preparing us to go to the other side.
In prayer.
Yeah.
So this is how you should portray death. Yeah. If I say in our modern age, there's just, what's the thought? In our modern time, so much of we're afraid of death, or death is this fearful, scary, unknown thing. But this right here, I think, my word, this is what death should be. Wow. For a Catholic, for someone who lives and dies in the service of Christ.
I was going to say, though it looks like my dad's going to make it through, we didn't know if he would make it through, and we had so many people praying for him. And even when he was in the midst of it, he said he just really felt all the prayers. The monks were praying for him. The families around here, even like nuns and other convents were praying for him. So it was just, he had a deep sense of peace, and he was praying the surrender prayer with my mom over and over again. And so there was still peace even in the midst of us dealing with this reality. So
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Every day is a gift.
Yeah.
And a little bit about his life. Did we mention? We talked about, because really we had so much art here. We got wrapped up in the art.
I know. No, I don't have too much more on him, but you can look him up.
Here is our. I like that.
The coloring page for him. This is what my sister Rose put together. Us stopping the membership will give her a lot more time to do the painting, because she's her right hand for painting. So she's been doing a lot with the coloring pages.
She's been doing all of these herself, and so
can lean on her more heavily now.
Yes, we're gonna need to.
But she did such a good job.
Saint Alphonsus, pray for us.
Yes, amen.
Next we have Saint Dominic. Saint Dominic.
Okay.
No, I'm jumping in with him. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So, okay, many of you probably heard the story, when Dominic before he was born, his mother had a dream. And in this dream, out of her womb came this dog carrying a torch in his mouth. And he proceeded and ran and he set the whole world on fire. And that was her dream.
What a child to know is coming.
Well, and he came and that is, so Dominic, he lived in the time of one of the great heresies of the church. His day was the Albigensian heresy. And it was in combating this heresy that he spent much of his life. He was, from his earliest childhood, he showed that he cared about spiritual things. He didn't have the same desires and amusements as other children. He was very pious, even at a young age. And he was also very intelligent. God gave him a great mind. He went into his studies and he mastered rhetoric, philosophy, studies in divinity, and a couple of interesting stories, though. So I didn't know this, but the Albigensian heresy. I want to learn more about this. But the Albigensians, it was a war. I mean, they were killing priests, burning villages, wherever they went. And he and I believe 2 abbots and a bishop went on a mission to try to begin to win them back. And there was at least on 2 occasions where they entered into the city and they began preaching to the chiefs, to the ministers. And they tried to convince them, with persuasion. And eventually the argument got so heated that there was some sort of a challenge thrown down. And they took their manuscripts and the manuscripts that St. Alphonsus had brought, threw them into the fire.
Dominic.
Sorry,
Alphonsus the other one.
Dominic. Yeah, we're at Dominic. They took the manuscripts and they threw them into the fire and they wouldn't burn.
Go to the picture.
Three different times.
Is that the next one?
That's right. We have a picture.
We have a picture of this.
I'm so busy.
Yes,
it is. Next one. There was a challenge, and the elder said, "Well, we'll throw your writings in the fire, and if they don't burn, then we'll believe you." And 3 times they tried to throw it into the fire. 3 times on 2 separate occasions.
Wow.
And none of the times would the books burn.
Can you zoom in a little bit? See that?
Yeah.
See that book suspended up in the air because they're throwing it. At least that's what it looks like. Look at that book up there.
Either throwing it or it's like levitating back up because it won't burn.
Maybe. What an interesting picture. Wow.
Now I kind of wonder. They said that they would believe, but even when confronted with this miracle, I wonder how many of them backtrack and actually.
I don't know.
So, and of course, Dominic is most well known for founding the order of the Dominican order, an order of teaching friars. And Dominic was a contemporary of St. Francis. He and St. Francis lived at the same time.
Yes.
And I think it's really noteworthy that
the rosary.
Right.
So was that to combat?
That's what this image is, and Our Lady gives Dominic the rosary to combat the Albigensian heresy.
Okay.
And through the prayer of the rosary, many, many souls are won over, both simple-minded folks, but also even very learned folks are won over by the rosary. And of course, Our Lady has come back over and over again and told us to keep praying. So we must pray this rosary.
That's another big feast day coming up in October.
I know.
Is Our Lady
we
of the
won't get to it.
Rosary.
Well, next year. It will be when we start up again. That's the other big reason. When we start up again, we're going to keep going.
Right. Got to get that head start.
That's right. Get the head start. Keep going all the way through. So, and then what was the last thing I was wanting to say is, so we know that Dominic and Francis were both contemporaries. Years, decades, century later, 2 of their sons would also be contemporaries. 2 well-known men, Saint Bonaventure and Saint Thomas Aquinas. That's right. So Saint Thomas Aquinas, a son of St. Dominic, St. Bonaventure, a son of St. Francis. And we just celebrated St. Bonaventure's feast, a few weeks ago, I think.
This painting is by Fra Angelico.
Another really good artist.
Yes.
So what was it, Tissot? Was that the one you were talking?
Yeah, he's more contemporary.
Right. Fra Angelico is more.
Okay,
and then here's a meeting of St. Francis and St. Dominic.
Yes. There's another picture I really loved, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Another one of the meeting of these 2. Okay.
And then this is a really neat one. These are all the different this order that sprung from St. Dominic, and these are all the notable persons
in his order.
The saints who would come to be. And they're different.
You can kind of zoom in a little bit. Here, zoom. So go to the bottom. Okay, so there at the bottom right side, you see St. Catherine of Siena.
Right here?
See right there? Yep, see how she's holding the crucifix there with the lilies. And then the
And we
other
also
one, St.
have-
Rose of Lima is there.
It looks like we have some of these cardinals.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Pope?
There's a rosary.
A few popes.
I don't know who all
Several
these
bishops.
saints are, but there's a lot of saints in the Dominican order.
Just what a neat picture too. What a neat way to present this.
Yeah.
These, all together. These family. This is a family.
Yeah, a lot
It's
of
a religious
children
family.
will recognize this is basically a spin-off of the Jesse tree, like the root of Jesse. So
Right.
Jesse's shown at the bottom, and then all the.
You could do this for each of the orders. You could do this for the Benedictines, for the Franciscans.
I haven't seen it for those orders yet.
No, well, maybe that's one thing we should illustrate, huh?
Someday,
Oh,
along
dear.
with everything else we.
And
could
this
illustrate.
story are we still on St. Dominic here?
Okay, yes. So this is. I was going to read this. It's really interesting. It says, among those who came to hear him was a widow. One day, rather than Miss Dominic's preaching, she came to the church, leaving her only son at home dangerously ill. On her return, she found that he had died. With her servants, she carried the child's lifeless body back to St. Mark's and sought out Dominic. Dominic touched the child and raised him to life. As Christ had done, he told the women not to tell anyone about the incident, but as those with whom Christ had healed, the news spread rapidly. According to the tradition, the story reached Honorius III, who ordained it to be announced from the pulpits of the city. Dominic implored him to rescind the order, saying that his sense of true humility would force him to leave the country. The Pope, however, remained steadfast and commanded Dominic to accept the people's veneration. So that's what I read. I thought that was, I don't know.
When I hear that, one of the thoughts that comes to me is, "Oh, us of little faith."
Yes. So that's what that picture is there.
Wow.
All right.
And then,
There's the coloring page. You see the dog there
yeah,
with the
there
torch
it
at
is.
the bottom?
There he is with the torch.
Yes.
Saint Dominic, pray for us.
Yes. Oh, and then I think the next one is an image of the story. So this is the saint that could
This
carry.
week we have the story. Yep, our last story here. Our last story until we start up again in Advent.
So we have it
So,
written out here.
It's
and,
longer. It's an extra page, but this just gives you an image of what you'll see in the members area.
And then there's
So,
also the audio file. So if you want to turn that on for your kids to listen to, that's available as well.
very good. And now we proceed on to this feast.
Yes, this is the Feast of Our Lady of Snows. We do not have a coloring page for this one because it wasn't a saint's feast, and we were just doing the saint's feast days or the really major.
But next year
Like we
we
just
will
read.
when we get to
Next
this part
year
of the
we will.
calendar.
But I didn't want to leave it out from this video because it's still a really special feast day. So it's called the Dedication of Our Lady of the Snows. It is now on the new calendar. It's basically the origin of the Basilica of St. Mary Major. And there's a tradition, actually, rather than summarizing, I will just read it because it's really fascinating.
See
It
that
says-
white stuff?
Yeah. It says, so the Catholic Encyclopedia summarizes, during the pontificate of Liberius, the Roman patrician, John and his wife, who were without heirs, made a vow to donate their possessions to the Virgin Mary. They prayed that she might make known to them how they were to dispose of their property in her honor. On August 5th, at the height of the Roman summer, snow fell during the night on the summit of the, I'm not sure how to say this.
Esquiline Hill.
Okay. In obedience to a vision of the Virgin Mary that they had had the same night, the couple built a basilica in honor of Mary on the very spot that was covered with snow. From the fact that, okay, and then it goes on to kind of say that it's because it's not documented very well, it's a legend. They basically decided to kind of just change it to the feast of St. Mary Major, or I don't know, it's not called a feast. I guess it is a feast day. Anyway. Was there another part that was interesting? Okay, this is interesting, yes. So traditions kind of came from this of Our Lady of the Snows. And so on August 5th each year, during the celebration of the liturgical feast of the dedication of the Basilica of St. Mary Major, a custom that commemorates the story of the miraculous snowfall is still maintained. At the conclusion of the solemn Mass in the Basilica, a shower of white rose petals is dropped from the dome of the Chapel of Our Lady. At sunset on the same day, an artificial snowfall is staged as a tourist attraction in the square outside the basilica. Apart from the above mentioned, many shrines of the Madonna della Neve, not sure in Italy, and in the United States, we have a national shrine of Our Lady of Snows in Belleville, Illinois. So, anyway.
Our Lady of the Snows.
That was a sweet story.
Very good. And now, this
is the Transfiguration
of Our Lord.
Yes, so this will be Friday.
This Friday.
Yes, so we won't go into explaining it too much, but I just wanted to show a variety of pictures. The other one you just saw that was also Fra Angelico.
Yeah. After a while, you really get to recognize his style,
yeah.
right? And it's all part of a family of images.
So if you notice, there's the three apostles, Peter, James, and John, and they're the three that will also be with our Lord in the Garden of Gethsemane. And then,
if you saw from our Lent calendar last year,
yeah.
she did an image composition because that we're reading was from the Transfiguration. I forget which Sunday of Lent, and she showed the Transfiguration above, but then the three of them sleeping as they did in the Garden of Gethsemane. Those two scenes are brought for us in liturgy. So.
Zoom in. I just find it really fascinating on this one with Christ's face. See how it's so luminous, which I just thought was really interesting how they captured that.
You can't see it clearly. It's so bright.
Yeah. I think it's the only artist I've seen portray his face in that way where it looks so bright. All right. Here's another style of the same event.
Moses. There's Moses and the horns.
It's supposed to be rays of light. Beams of light, yes.
That's a traditional way of depicting Moses. If you look up Jonathan Peugeot, he talks about that in one of his videos.
Yeah. And there's Peter offering to create 3 tabernacles for Christ and Moses and Elijah, and then God the Father at the top saying, "This is my beloved Son, hear ye him," or whatever, something like that. It's another image here. It has a lot of little angel faces there, all around, observing. Very Renaissance time period. There we go. Another composition, more horizontal.
This looks like a color version of the same kind of images in the...
I think that's what it is. I think it's from the Missal, and then somebody went and colored it. I mean, it's a great way to use those pictures from the Missal is to give them to your kids as coloring pages. Let them color it in.
This is another... This is really good.
Isn't that neat?
You see all the elements there.
Yeah. You have Moses there on the left side, and then Elijah there on the right side.
Wait.
Can you?
Yeah, I can. All right.
There we go. Yeah, there's Elijah.
Push this off. There we go.
We're hiding now. Anyway, isn't that beautiful?
Boy.
Beautiful composition.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the last?
The last one is our... So we actually do have a coloring page for this one.
Oh, yes.
And this is what we have come up with. What Rosie's come up with.
Yep.
That is a Moses beard right there. I like that. Transfiguration.
Yep.
So you'll find this... This is our coloring page you'll find in the members area.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, do we have any... This is the last one, I think, right?
Well, then we have Saint
Cajetan. We have another saint. Very good.
One last saint for Saturday.
One last saint for this week. Saint Cajetan.
There we go. All right. I have 3 pictures of him, I think.
Yes. 3 pictures.
Mm-hmm. Saint Cajetan. His life took a characteristic turn when he joined the Oratory of Divine Love in Rome, a group devoted to piety and charity, shortly after his ordination at 36. When he was 42, he founded a hospital for incurables at Venice. He sought out the sick and the poor of the town and served them. This is interesting. The greatest need of the time was the reformation of the church that was sick in head and members. Cajetan and 3 friends decided the best road to reformation lay in reviving the spirit and zeal of the clergy. Together they founded a congregation known as the Theatines. One of his friends in starting this later became Pope Paul IV. They managed to escape Venice after their house in Rome was wrecked when Emperor Charles V's troops sacked Rome in 1527. The Theatines were outstanding among the Catholic reform movements that took shape before the Protestant Reformation. Cajetan founded, this is interesting. He founded a Monte de Pieta, or a mountain or fund of piety in Naples, one of many charitable non-profit credit organizations that lent money on the security of pawned objects. The purpose was to help the poor and protect them against usurers. Cajetan's little organization ultimately became the Bank of Naples, with great changes in policy. But I just thought it was interesting. I was just listening to an interview with I can't remember his name. Rats. Anyway, it's a great interview. But he was talking about he wrote a book about a Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and kind of how cryptocurrency is one of the ways of governments not being able to meddle and basically
they can't control it. They can't control the coins.
It was interesting. Salmon, is that his name?
Eric Sandman?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know he had written this book. I'm sorry I forgot your name. But anyway, it was interesting. He was talking about the book that he just, a different book that he just wrote. But I thought it was interesting because he was talking about cryptocurrencies and how these can be manipulated by governments to the detriment of the poor. And then here you have St. Cajetan, and he was trying to, through helping with the monetary side, try to help the poor.
Right. Well, when you have the right aims in mind, you really can accomplish much.
Yes.
So we need to. It's up to us. It's up to each person to set God as their goal and to do the right thing. So if you're given much or given little, the way we see the world going, those of us who are having big families or, that's the future, I think.
As long as we can raise them well, right?
Yeah.
We're trying
God to provide,
grace.
right? God to provide. And we're, So this is our coloring page we have. This is our last one. I guess you could say last one before we start up again in Advent. St. Cajetan, pray for us.
Well, thank you all for your prayers and continued support.
This is Michaela added this because this is a site. Tumblr is a image search platform like Pinterest, and you can create your own boards. And so this particular board is called the Raccolta. Yes. See if I can actually zoom in.
So this is a user.
This board right here. This is a user that's created this, the raccolta.tumblr.com. It's because image searching is difficult, and if you go just on the open internet and you search for some of the stuff, you wouldn't think of getting something bad, but there's just the weirdest things in there. I don't even do it.
I'm good at it because I have a knack for being able to just tune out things I don't want to see and to blur, and then I can just zoom in on the things I want. But this website has really good taste. Everything I've seen I've been happy with, and they have a lot of options. So I just wanted to offer this as a resource if you're trying to still continue to show images in your home, or you want this is a good one.
Raccolta.tumblr.com.
Yeah.
I'll try to have that in the link in the description. So, and I think that brings us to the end of this week.
I think so. I'll miss you guys.
We'll still be here. We'll still be here.
I know, but our weekly videos.
Busy, our weekly videos.
It will free up us. It will free a lot of time.
We really like making these, but these take quite a bit of time. I mean, so we'll spend half a day preparing and pulling everything we need to do to get the video. And then, of course, if we mess up, there's some editing. I think we've done good this time. Where the kids, usually when the kids come bang on the door, we have to do some editing. Yeah. But once again, thank you so much for coming with us on this journey. God bless you, and like I said. Check out our website. Get on our email list if you want to hear updates from us. But the Lord will provide, and we look forward to this Advent. This Advent's going to be really neat. Our calendars will be back, and I think you really like what Michaela has in store. Yeah. And we're just going to keep going. God bless you guys. See you soon.
Take care.